Ladies will have their own final, so we're going to see that really come into play then.
I think it's pretty interesting too. I mean, it's not just stand-up. These guys they have a lot of different
Whatever you see the lead lady, I'm going to zoom.
It's not just the board.
Okay, right there. She's on the way.
Like you said about the ladies using their knees.
Yeah, I got it.
Some of these guys, I watched Connor Baxter had a totally different way of practicing last night.
Oh, absolutely. Watching him run out and dive on the board, it looks so different than what he's done in years past. So I don't know if he's come up with a whole new game plan, but it was definitely a little bit different, definitely unique.
She's right there, right? That's
yeah,
good.
you know, these guys, I'm just watching Chase Kostelich, 119, paddle out right now. He's got those compression stockings on, and here comes Annabelle, still in the lead, still going strong. You know?
Passing up the water,
They have
too.
to tap or something?
Yeah,
When they
she
go
is
They
just...
get up and they run on the sand.
You know, Annabelle has a point to prove. The New Zealanders lost the America's Cup after leading 8-1. The Kiwis are devastated. They need the queen of the scene, Annabelle Anderson, to bring it on home.
I have
Look at this set. Woo!
Line it up.
So Annabelle's going to have to go out through the waves. Keep your eyes on Annabelle. Watch how she handles the surf. She's been working really hard with the Kiwi boys down there.
Hello everyone, and so we are live here, so thanks for bearing with us. We've had to jump a whole lot of hoops and to bring the Battle of the Paddle California for you. So we're still setting up here. We had a little bit of a late start, but this is a small production, very little resources, and a whole lot of heart. So we thanks everyone for tuning in and watching us. Let your friends and families know that they can catch the action of the Battle of the Paddle at supconnect.com/live. And this is again the qualifying heat for the elite race. Right now you have it looks like Danny Ching leading and Annabelle Anderson right behind. Annabelle Anderson leading the women's race, and then Danny Ching leading the men's race. Behind him during the last lap was Slater Trout. And we're going to be checking with the results in just a few moments.
They might up it to 60.
About 50. Oh, it's Hawaiian stuff. About 50%. What,
Maybe
Bradley?
60.
You 52.
Or you might be able to go too. You know, they might throw us in. Jillian Gabri.
Oh, Jillian Gabri, yeah.
Yeah, not just yoga. This girl is an amazing, amazing athlete. Ocean athlete, lifeguard, unreal.
What's the word, Drew?
I just wanted to point that out, Jillian coming through the chicane. Now she's kind of pacing herself a little bit, but things are looking good down here. There's even someone with a hard hat down here, a board handler. He's taking it serious as things start to intensify down here on the beach.
Well, I tell you, he might well need that helmet in the finals. He's going to, no pain, no gain.
Yeah, sport career over the years, seriously, very hazardous, very unsung hero. It's like having your tow partner in Jaws or something.
Hey, Cookie, this will date us. I remember being Ian Cairns' caddy at Waimea when we decided to have board caddies during the Smirnoff when the surf was 20 feet. I had to paddle out with 3 boards at Waimea, lying on one with one under each foot. Did you ever have anything like that back in your competitive days?
No, they wouldn't let us do that back then. You were responsible for your own equipment. And you had to swim in because there was no surf leashes. It was horrible.
It never seemed to impact you, my friend. Corky won the world title how many times? 6 times?
A couple times.
A couple of times. I know it was 6.
You know, you're seeing mean, we have definitely gone past that 50% mark. If you're of the male persuasion, you best get moving if y'all want to be moving on.
Good point. You can see these guys have to hustle. They know that, boy, if they want to move on to the next round, this is the meat and potatoes part of the race right here.
Absolutely, and the ladies too. You know, I'm seeing Talia DeCoy going through, Molokai champion. You know, she's definitely got to get moving, put it into a next gear. We've for sure seen 50% of our field flying through this last lap, y'all.
Abby is moving slowly today. I see Abby. You know, I called Abby as a possible dark horse here, but you know, the boy must have been a long flight from the islands because he's moving a little slow there. Come on, KO. Fire him up, brother. Charge him.
Abby and I participated in a drinking contest last night. We did.
It's all your fault.
I smoked him.
Once again, Danny, I mean, we're going to have a lapping situation going on here if this carries on. It's quite possible. Danny is just, he's in the groove.
Yeah, and he's done it without waves, which is pretty amazing because some of the guys, you know, obviously they inch back up when they get a set wave out the back. Yeah, and he's done this on just sheer muscle this whole way through. I mean, I haven't really seen him ride a wave very far, so.
And you know, Danny is fine with that. He gets in that groove. He's got that comfortable stroke. His mechanics are so good. If you ever want to learn how to paddle a board really well, watch Danny's stroke mechanics. I see Travis Grant shaking his head in agreement. The guy is technically perfect in our opinions. You know, you could model somebody like Connor who's had a phenomenal year, but his paddling style is difficult to emulate. Very few people can do it, but Danny's style is just very efficient. Absolutely. He's probably using less energy than anybody out there right now.
And just a real quick little input there. Danny Chafe, of course, won last year's Battle of Paddle. Remember, his board handler, he just kind of pulled out of the crowd last year. So it's kind of different to see him with a more scheduled type board handler.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out later on. Whoever did it last year, I got to tell you, they were fantastic.
Al, I think, you know, one of the things he's thinking, and very important in this race, is he may get a big enough lead to be at the beach before he could be caught by a set wave, which in this event's very important because if a big set came right at that green buoy and somebody caught it, they could almost catch him at the beach here.
Oh yeah, it's happened. We've seen major lead changes, Corky, happen in the last 100 yards of the race. You'll see in the finals today how that changes the composition because the finish will be right in front of us. And it has a dramatic change. And I know in the ladies particularly, we've seen that because they're tied by the time they're coming up to the finish. That wave can make all the difference in the world. Am I right?
Oh, we've seen it come down to the run. We've seen it come down to the last, I'd say, half a foot on the run. So, I mean, there's nothing worse. You've just paddled, every ounce of strength you have, and you're just neck and neck with somebody, and all of a sudden, you're on the deep sand run. It's unreal.
Eric Diamond pointed out earlier, wisely, that the tide is going to go out, too, which is going to make more surf.
We got a low tide, about a half an hour we have low tide. Now, here's what's great about this low tide compared to events in the past. That's about as low as you're going to see it all day. It doesn't fluctuate, which is really great. Why? Because a few years ago, we were so low that actually running across the rocks and some of the board handoffs got really difficult. We have a perfect tide scenario for this race. Maybe not as big as waves, but it's still going to consistently be about 2 to 4 feet all day. You know, every 15 minutes we're going to have a 3-foot set. So
adds that little bit of excitement.
Oh gosh, but especially the tide, because this whole board handoff thing outside here is really difficult at low tide.
When we talk about old timers and originators, we're joined now by the man who's really responsible for Jerry and Sparky getting into SUP in the first place, and I'm talking about none other than Ron House. Ron, welcome up here. What do you think of the race so far?
Oh, it's a fabulous race. Every year it gets better, and this one is better than the last one.
Well, in no small part, that is thanks to the hard work and the effort and the enthusiasm that Ron has put into helping this event, and the aloha spirit that Ron imbues in everything he does. I mean, for those of us who are fortunate enough to surf on one of his boards or sup on one of his boards, man, they come out with aloha spirit right out of his hands, and it's just amazing. Ron, tell us, is it a Danny Annabelle day, or do you think a dark horse could jump in there?
Well, we haven't seen the second heat yet.
There's some sage counsel. We haven't seen the second heat yet. Yeah, indeed. We have some very, very tough competitors. That'll be interesting to see how that breaks out. And of course, I think the odds-on money is on Danny and Annabelle, frankly, but there are so many people capable of giving them a run for their money.
Oh, no question. And you know, as soon as they start that horn for that finale, all bets are off. We're not friends anymore. I don't know you anymore. Like, we are going for the finish. I want my check. I want to win. I want the crown. I want to be Battle Paddle Champion or Champion Woman. Champion Woman is a real one.
That's pretty rad. I mean, Ron House, I can't say enough about, definitely one of the founding fathers of stand-up paddle, from pipeline guns in the 70s to some of the very first shaped stand-up paddle boards in the new millennium.
Oh, my longtime longboard shaper right here.
That's the godfather of SUP right there, and to have him on board this whole time for this has just been amazing. And talk about just a low-key, good karma guy.
Good morning, everyone.
The first
This is
gentleman
Supconnect
stand-up
Live
paddle.
coming to you from Battle of the Paddle 2013.
So Danny is coming in.
We're
Danny
looking
is
at the
about to
first
lap
heat of Battle
the
right now,
people.
and Danny Ching
Danny coming
is
in to
leading the
complete
way.
his
He's coming in
second
right
run
now
through the
for his,
chicane.
second round
His
through
third
the
run
chicane.
through the chicane.
Yeah, and we want to encourage everybody, hey, if Danny laps you, no big deal. Keep going.
Oh, absolutely.
I love being loud.
Finish your race. Yeah, hey, there's no shame in it. I've been that guy. Actually, in every race I've ever been in, I have been last.
Here's Danny coming in right
Not
now. So we'll see if we
embarrassing.
can
This is,
focus in on
by the way,
Danny.
this is Danny coming
And
into
he's
the finish, and now he
completely
finally
alone
catches
on
a
his own
wave.
race.
That's got to feel good.
Danny's going to come in. Give Danny a cheer as he comes in. I mean, this guy is a legend in this sport, and he's one of the nicest guys around. Travis and him have gone at it in outriggers and subboards, and Travis will confirm that Danny has just got his heart in the right place.
A really good point, Al. I've seen this guy in outrigger. I've seen this guy in just about every kind of watercraft. He's an amazing waterman.
Here he comes in. And Luis from Brazil, Sao Paulo, coming in a very comfortable second. There's Danny. Congratulations, Danny. He's not even breathing hard. Look, he's just like, oh, wow, what? Stretch him out already.
Kiss babies, chicken hands.
But you can see what can happen there. That board almost took him out, you know.
Yeah.
Travis was telling me, yeah, there was 40 minutes that Danny finished that heat in. 40 minutes.
Travis, give me a little background on this Brazilian guy, okay? Is he kind of new on the scene here? Or does he have a... This is the stuff that I love. The guy I haven't heard of, coming in right behind Danny Ching. He is the new dark horse.
He is now. You know, we're going to look him up in the meantime. We don't have a lot of information on him, but we know we have several great Brazilians in the field today.
And I love it. Danny and him are shaking hands, introducing each other for the first time, probably.
There's a bit of a language barrier. But I'm down here with Danny Ching right now. Danny, pretty smooth race for you. Yeah, it's pretty flat out there. A couple little waves. I finally got a good one at the end, and just a little bit of paddling in the sun.
We have
Talk
another
about the
set of
shoulder. How's it
racers
feel so
coming
far?
in right now. This
Feels
is kind of
good.
the
I spent a
second
lot of
wave
time
of men
rehabbing
coming
and training
in.
again, so I'm at 100%.
Looks like we
What about
have,
this guy to your left
looks
here?
like Connor Baxter
Pretty good
coming
performance
in,
by him this morning.
trying to avoid a board
yeah,
right
I turned
now.
around expecting to see the
And
normal
another
people,
set of
and,
guys
Luis
all
was
coming in
here
together on
pulled
the
up
wave.
behind me.
They'll race to the finish, but
Congratulations, Danny. We'll see
about
you at
50 to
2:30 in the final.
60% of the
Awesome,
athletes
thank
in
you.
this
Danny
first
Ching,
heat
everybody.
will make it into the
And
final.
now here comes,
So they really don't have to
Of course,
expend
Connor
too much
Baxter
energy right
coming
now.
in.
They can save it up for the
That was
final, which
Bo,
will
I
happen
believe,
later
who
on
just
this
came in.
afternoon, again around 2 o'clock p.m.
Now, I would think that these guys know they qualify. That probably the primary purpose is not to get hurt for your next heat. You know what I mean? I would be kind of thinking that if it was myself.
Oh, absolutely. You're figuring if you're turning the hammer right now, you're probably pretty safe as far as moving forward. So kind of maybe just make sure you get in safe and sound. Watch the rocks on your way in. If you're anybody else, ooh, hurry up.
Gotta admit, that was pretty amazing. Danny Ching did pull that off without really a separate. He acknowledged that. Most guys will get one good, pump where they get a 100-yard stretch and get to take a breather. He was straight out the whole way.
Supconnect will be with you all day today and tomorrow, bringing you the live action. Again, we'd love for you to use the hashtag Supconnect Live when you're tweeting and talking about this on your social media.
we've got,
Maybe you're using
a
Instagram
Mexican
or Facebook.
gentleman.
But if you tweet or use Instagram with the hashtag Supconnect Live, that will actually appear on the Supconnect.com website for everyone to see. So please use that hashtag and let us know what you think and what you are looking at.
In Santa Monica, like I'm talking a way overhead closeout. There's an incredible photo of him. It's It's probably one of the best
We would
photos
also
of the year,
love
and
for
he
you
just
this
got
year to use the
swallowed
hashtag
into the
We
jaws
Want
of
Supconnect,
the
meaning that
Came
you
out smiling
like
and
the
laughing,
webcast
and then
that
put
you're
his hat
viewing
back
and you
on.
want to see more of
Got back
it.
on
So
his
use
board
that
and went back in. He's a
hashtag
good
We
guy.
Want
A giant wave in
Supconnect
Santa Monica.
for
That's kind of
Battle of the Paddle webcasts, future webcasts, and other races and stand-up
I
paddleboarding
love that
events.
description.
We are always
Into the
excited to bring you
jaws
the
of a
action,
giant.
and your support would mean a lot to us. So please use that hashtag We Want Supconnect.
Carolyn Ron Howe's talking story up here. When she talks about the jaws of death, these guys are thinking Waimea, they're thinking huge pipeline. Margin, then Danny beat the men by. And Danny beat the men by a huge margin. That's how strong Annabelle is right now.
So this is Supconnect Live, and we are just finishing up heat number 1 at Battle of the Paddle 2013. Danny Ching was the winner, and then we had a whole crew of guys coming in after that, including Connor Baxter and some others. Annabelle Anderson has been our leading lady in heat number 1, looking extremely strong today. So what you're watching now are other people coming into the finish. Many of them are hoping to be in the top 50 to 60% of the overall people who were in the first heat, so that they can move on to the final, which will be at 2:00 p.m. this afternoon. So keep watching. We are going to be with you all day today, bringing you action from these elite races, and also the distance race actually will take place tomorrow on Sunday. This afternoon we also have an open race with anyone who wants to be in that on any size board they choose. Right now the paddlers who are in the elite races must be racing on 12.6 race boards. That's 12-foot 6-inch race boards for men and women. But again, this afternoon in the open race, they can race on any size board they want. And in the distance race tomorrow, there are actually different divisions, including a new tandem division that will allow people to have more than one paddler on one board, which is exciting because we've had some tandem people racing for several years, but it's never been an actual division. So glad to see that here this year at 2013 Battle of the Paddle. So we're just going to keep our cameras on the action today. Again, this is the end of heat number 1 at Battle of the Paddle 2013. Please use the hashtag Supconnect Live to communicate with us, and those tweets and Instagram posts will get put right up on our website at supconnect.com. Again, www.supconnect.com. So keep it all coming. Also, if you really like what you see and you like seeing all the action today, please use the hashtag WeWantSupconnect so that we can continue to bring you coverage in years to come, and let everybody know that Supconnect is the place to view all your action.
She wasn't even out of breath. You know, it's a beautiful day. That was good. I feel kind of good.
Well, as I said earlier, Annabelle has a grudge to prove right here. The Kiwis got hammered at the America's Cup, and Annabelle wants to bring home the gold in the worst way. Now we see people really working hard to get across the line. And here comes Fiona.
So we just recently had Brandy Baxick come into the finish and some other leading ladies mixed in with the men. They did all start together this morning at the same race time, so we did not have separate starts in the heats. But we're hearing that in the final this afternoon there will be a separate men's start and a separate women's start, which is something that a lot of the leading ladies in stand-up paddle have been rooting for, so that they can have a nice clean start with just the individuals that are in their race and not get mixed into a lot of the men on that race start, which can cause some damage to boards and collisions and other things that happen. So again, more finishers coming in right now. Everyone looking good, and this is really the dogfight right now to see who's going to make it into the final. The leaders were shoo-ins, of course, but these guys have to make it into the top 50 or 60% in order to make it into that final later this afternoon.
His whole life in the water, catching waves around the world. What do you think your tactic would be going into Heat 2?
Looks like we have some Groms coming in right now. These young guys just look fantastic out there, young ladies. It's so impressive to see them going in and out of the surf and doing this battle of the paddle style racing through the chicane, running through the sand, back out through the surf and around for solid laps and solid performances. It's definitely not easy out there. In fact, the waves were pumping a lot higher this morning than we've seen them in years past, which was unexpected. We were told that we were